Back to my producer job.
It's your boy McKinley Hayes. We doing part 2. I'm in the studio with Woo. Thank you for coming through.
Oh man, the pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
Keep it going, you know what I'm saying? Today we're talking about building wealth through real estate. One of my nearest and dearest friends is doing just that. We're on property number 8, and we're grilling him today about the journey, the steps you took to get here, what was it like on property 1, what are some of the mistakes you made, and all that good stuff. So, boom, let's pick up where we left off. Well, you mentioned you showed up to the auction with $10,000 cash to go towards one property, maybe buy it cash. Depends on how much you bid and whatnot.
Well, no, that was in hopes, because you never know what deal we're gonna find. It's an auction, so you never know. If something looked great, if the price looked amazing and the opportunity that we had to take advantage of, we brought $10,000, which you could obtain 4 just in case. Okay. With the hopes of buying 3.
All right, so you mentioned you can put down $2,500 to secure the rights to the property.
Correct.
Because from that point, you have 90 days to close on it. Mm-hmm. Right? That's just securing it. I'm assuming that $2,500 goes towards the property.
Correct.
Okay. So then I buy a $15,000 property. I put $2,500 down. I still owe them $12,500. Mm-hmm. Some people are going to just have the cash, boom, but some people are going to make a play. Right, whether it's a hard money loan or personal
FHA.
loan. Yeah. So FHA, like you could do a mortgage?
Yeah, some people actually put a mortgage. We even thought about having it to give people the option to rent to buy. Because once you own it, you can. Right. But at that particular place, at the auction, we went the hard money route. And with the hard money route, if you go that route, you have to pay the money. You should pay the money back as fast as possible. They have high interest rates. Okay. They will give you the cash based off of your assets in the job you have. Again, we decided to go with 2 out of the 3. So we won 3 at the auction.
Oh, right. Okay. You only kept 2.
And we had to chalk up that $2,500. Okay. Because, when also getting the intentions of the tenant by going to each place, we also checked out the structure of the property. Okay. I mean, hoping, looking for any major damage or anything of that nature. They were all livable, but some of them had their obstacles.
All right, so you guys decided to do the hard money loan for the 2 you closed on, and then you mentioned within doing the math based on the cash flow from the rental income to, I guess, whatever the loan payment was, you figured this will pay itself off in two and a half years
actually,
and everything from there.
If it was brought out right, it would pay for itself 2.5 years, and also with no repairs.
Right, you got to take that into account too.
Absolutely.
Right? We got to have a whole episode on that, right? You know what I'm saying? Talking about the unexpected costs that come with being a homeowner. Because when you're renting and your central air goes out, that's on the landlord, right?
Absolutely.
It's not on the person who's renting.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Good segue here, based on that point, to some of the mistakes, right? Because we made everything sound amazing. Financially, it makes sense, right? Buy something outright, you continue to receive rental income from it, it pays for itself, now you got cash flow. But there's another side of the coin that's not discussed enough, and people make a lot of mistakes. Yeah. So give me like a list of the mistakes that you may have made or that you want to warn people to avoid, so it's not all good. There's things you got to look out for.
Okay, well, I'll start off with saying calling mistakes learning lessons, because you're going to learn with mistakes. I don't think it's a mistake-free kind of field. You're going to definitely do a lot of learning. Yeah. Some things you can do on your own. Some things are a trade for a reason that people do, that are experts in what they do.
So like electrician.
Absolutely. Plumbing.
Roofing.
That's how you can cut on costs. And I don't want to necessarily say that's a mistake more or less, but I feel we're handy, and I feel, again, you're as strong as your team. So we're Stephanie's really good at paperwork and things of that nature. I'm the brute. I bring in the flooring, and I do some painting. But we work good as a team. If we can handle something and do it on our own, we will. But when we can, we definitely learn to get really good, trustworthy contractors. That's everything.
Contractors is one for sure. Make sure that your contractors are straight. You trust them and they're on point. No contractors.
Contractors is first and foremost. All right. The number one scenario of why contractors are very important. In our unit in Silver Spring area, off of Meserods, our AC went out. Okay. Your heart drops.
That's you have
a tenant.
That's the big one.
People pay their rent on time. Yeah. They want their climate control to work ASAP.
Yeah, for sure.
Nonetheless, we went to the first person. And that's why I can't say mistakes, because it's 2 ways to go about it. You can't go not legit, but someone that has through a commercial,
like Roto-Rooters, My Plumber, something like that.
Right. Yeah. So I've seen the good and bad in both. In this example, we tried to go those routes at first. We were first initially charged $14,000.
Charged or quoted?
Quoted. Next, we were quoted $6,000.
That's already a big difference.
We was able to get the AC fixed for $142 based off my homie's mom's friend.
Okay.
And like a good barbershop, man, you just never let them go, you know?
Right. So to this day, that's your AC guy.
That is, yes.
Yeah, for sure. Because you got to try to, because somebody's going to do honest work, right? So like, people know you don't know. So they're like, I can come up $6,000 right here, have a payday, give them a new unit. Yeah, I could fix the igniters or whatever it is they need to do and get out the door with $200-300. Right. But if this person's willing and financially able to pay $6,000 for a new unit, they're going to push that $6,000. Right. But an honest contractor will tell you, look, I could fix it like this. You have the same unit.
Yeah.
It might go up, but you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, okay.
You got to look at the big picture. If we had 3 properties, if we just said, okay, and that's anybody that's even making a lot of money, you just want to do your due diligence. Yeah, contracts are very important because if that happened to 3 properties, you know?
Yeah, you start
that starts to add up. Okay. You know, so we have a trustworthy electrician, our AC guy, Jesse.
Okay.
And then we also have a great plumber. Well, we have options though, just in case someone's out of town.
Yeah. You always
some people don't like driving to Baltimore.
Jobs at once.
Yeah. So we just keep a trustworthy group of contract. That is rule number 1.
All right. So we got that down. Contractors. Move on to number 2.
Mistake number 2. Again, these are all learning, lessons because we keep all our properties. We're in the holding game, so we hold our properties. So we have a lot of experience with tenants, good and bad.
I got some stories here.
It's a tricky one. That's what it's at your own discretion, but be cautious of it. It's family and friends want to rent from you, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that.
All right, boom. So you would say caution number 2 is going to be...
Be mindful who you rent to, period. And it's no clean-cut way. It's no guaranteed great way. All I could give is my experience and my advice and the journey I've taken. And I've seen things go up and down with friends and family, more or less.
I definitely feel where you're coming from. There's no way to have a sure-cut way to say whether it's a good or bad idea, but there's usually elements in place that you can take a look at to identify if it's a good or bad idea. And I think a lot of times people go with their heart because they want to help somebody out. They want to help a family member out. But when they're short on the rent or when they don't have it or the payment extends beyond 30 days and it's putting you in a bind, those things aren't pleasant. You know what I'm saying? So if you can avoid it and kind of keep
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, your business affairs separate from your personal affairs, I think that's a good warning to anybody that's, because friends and family go on friends and family, period.
And, I would say people skills, social skills are important. Yeah. It's an underrated skill required in property management and obtaining properties because you got to be good with people. I say me and my lady are a great team because we played a good cop, bad cop. The time that paperwork could be put in, she's putting in paperwork. You know what I mean? That's that. It's really nothing around that. She ain't really about to say much to you.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a talk to him, see if we can make it work.
Try to work with
things, So, and both ways will work. There's no set way, but that was necessary.
Sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes, you give them an olive branch and they can make it right. Cool. That's 2. First is going to be make sure your general contractors and your contracting game is on point. People you know and trust. 2 is going to be tenants, who you're renting to. Do your due diligence and be very aware.
Credit checks, things of that nature.
Yeah, credit checks and things that come with renting to family and friends.
And we stay ready, but have money ready for when people don't pay their rent.
Okay. Emergency fund.
Circumstances.
Right.
Absolutely. Coronavirus came out of nowhere. And that affected a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you do got to have, kind of have a heart if you are put in that situation. But those things happen. Those situations could turn the best renter, somebody that had great credit score, rent history, and not be paying rent anymore. So you just never know. But you just got to reserve for that.
That's an unforeseen circumstance,
Absolutely.
Right? And in the owner's seat, you got to be ready.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And as well as repairs.
Okay.
Again, good contractor, but you just got to have the money for that as well.
Okay.
So it's not just, when rent coming in, free money, just have fun. You have a reserve and, be prepared for repairs and unforeseen circumstances if people aren't able to pay their rent.
Do we have any more we want to add to the list? We have contractors, right? Make sure you got a solid team of contractors, people you know, love, and trust, who can do honest work.
It necessarily don't have to be a ranking. It depends. Yeah. They're all very important.
Yeah.
Who you go into business with? Some people are going into it by themselves. Some people are going into it, of course, with their significant other. There's some group of friends that go into it.
Yeah.
So I could put trust of who you go into it with.
Yeah.
Is up front. It's very important. It's very important, that structure that you have with a group of friends.
Yeah.
Because the more people you add on, there's more opinion.
Right.
So it's 2 ways to go about it. Y'all have a strong, equal opinion.
Yeah.
Or there's a hierarchy to where, someone's making a higher decision. 2 different systems, but, communication, trust, it's a lot that goes on with obtaining properties and a lot of talks that need to be had and a lot of trust that is going to have to show itself. And,
Or deciding you're going to do it by yourself because of that lack of trust in other people, right? Because you know what I'm saying? You can have multiple properties by your lonesome and build your way up. But with a team, of course, you can do things faster, more income, more leverage.
And a like-minded goal, you know, if everybody's talking about obtaining something and holding it, you know, you want to stick to that. But then there's somebody that, you know, say, hey, man, I heard about flipping. And
they're trying to cash out.
They're trying to, you know.
Yeah, you got to be a unified
Or, you know, my aunt, you know, somebody, they're going through something with their family, just lost their job. They want to make a move. You just got to be mindful of that. That's very important as well. And another thing, I'm sorry.
No, there's a community of people who say that buying a house is a bad move.
Absolutely, yeah. One thing we do, you know, with Stephanie being a real estate agent, we allow people to break their lease if they're in a position to buy, you know, from her. We've had tenants that were in a position to buy. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have fear or don't know they are capable of buying a home. To instill that confidence, tell them the long-term benefit, we've had renters buy properties, you know, through Stephanie, and promote that if you're in a position to do that, because it's more than just paying less of where you're staying at. It's also obtaining something for your children
that you own.
Something that you can rent. So, you know, even if you want to own, period.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
Okay, Versace K, I'm in the studio. Yo.
All right, you gotta get serious.
Is there a price range that you avoid when buying rental properties?
No, we don't deter from any price. If it makes sense, condos make sense. That's what we were able to obtain. It's not a lot of competition in the condo game. Okay. So the housing market would be crazy. It'd be very difficult for us to get a house. In our lane with these condos, we're on a contract with our 8th one tomorrow. It's been pretty smooth to get. As far as you talking about the ceiling, it's sky's the limit. If it makes sense, do the analytics to see if we could get good rent from it. Of course, the condition of the place. Yeah. You know, we believe in the worst house in the best neighborhood. We also got places that we also wanted to flip that had old appliances. Okay. So at least we, you know, that's one of the few things we do is that we change the appliances, get modern new appliances. But there's no limit. If it makes sense, we with it. If we can afford it and it makes sense, we with it.
All right, bet. You're collecting income from your tenants.
Correct.
Right? Let's say you got a certain number for cash flow. Mm-hmm. Right? It makes this per month. What percentage of that are you putting away to reinvest back in the property in the event of appliance failure, disaster, something like that?
Most of it. You know, 33%, 40%. Because we do like to vacate. And we both have full-time jobs. So, you know, good 33.
33 to 40?
40,
okay.
You know.
All right. Next question. What analysis are you doing when buying the property? I know you touched on this, but if you could put it in a vacuum, you know, what are some of the baseline things you look for?
At least that we definitely going to make a profit from renting in that area. So after the mortgage and after the condo fee, homeowners association, well, condo fee, because we get in condos, or homeowner association, if we get more rent from it, then we'll be paying the mortgage then.
The rent's got to cover the mortgage at least. Right. And then make up for the fees that you take care of with the tenant.
Absolutely. And most of our tenant properties have been tenant occupied.
Makes sense. All right, next question. Outside of Alex Cooper, where can people find opportunities to buy at auctions?
Driving through Baltimore or driving through, PG or a lot of different properties that are being auctioned. There's different companies that plaster advertisement or poster on the property stating when they're going to have an auction. Yeah. And there's plenty of different auctions throughout the area. One thing where we go, we stay in the area. That's very important because people play games. Right. We do at least like to talk to our tenants, be able to send contractors there. You know, we hear great opportunities in Ghana and, you know, Liberia. There's great opportunities in Detroit. You know, everybody heard about $1 property. Right. We personally, we like to keep it local.
Right, because we're on the East Coast. We on the East Coast. Things you can drive to, like properties you can go see, feel, and touch.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? You don't have to rely on some outside opinion or external resource to take care of shit.
We want to go as far as Baltimore. That's the furthest we want to go. 2 in Baltimore, 6 around here. In Bowie, we staying up on my road, but in the Bowie area. Auction-wise. Yeah. Alice Cooper is the only one we've dealt with. Okay. There are a ton of auction companies.
Bet.
All right. People can go to, yeah.
Can you give us an example of a before and after project, something that was in a certain state when you acquired it, and then you had to do some work, and then it's in a certain state now to the point where it's a successful acquisition?
Out of the 8, one of them we brought kind of new. Stephanie's condo was new. Yeah. The other ones all require or could use some upgrade. With mine personally, we redid the floors and changed out the appliances. So this is a Meserot property. We brought it as a short sale. Old kitchen, old appliances, old bathroom. You see, we changed out the vanity, changed out the lights. We also put in a new chandelier.
Oh, that look good right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Appreciate it. You know, so we took it from this. Yeah. To that.
Nice.
Yeah. And, you know, it was a collaborative effort. Right. I did a little bit of work. Stephanie did some work. We also got some contractors as well. and we felt we could ask for more rent with improving the quality of the
right.
Our Baltimore properties need to be touched. You feel me? Tender love and care. It's time to get to those. They're very much so livable. If we do renovate those, we can make a significant amount.
For sure.
Yeah. Because that's big on there. You can find...
a little TLC go a long way, baby.
Yeah, especially with those properties. It's a marathon and a race. It's a slow process. Try to do as much as you can do on your own, and you'll get there.
Dope, man. I think that's some good information. We wrapping up the Q&A. I think we want to close out with a couple more points because you gotta have a certain mindset to conquer everything you've conquered. To have 8 and then still want more and to keep going, because most people stop at 1, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, like, what drives you? What drives you to continue to build the empire? You know what I'm saying? Continue to build the wealth through this vehicle. What are some of the key things that, like, when you go to sleep at night, to wake up to fight the good fight?
Like I brought up with men's health, I could go on plenty of reasons why I want to stay healthy.
Right.
One, to kick ass, defend myself.
Yeah.
One, to look good for the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Other one, obtain great health with coronavirus and all that.
Yeah.
All 3 equally important, but they all drive me.
Right.
Similar to with the real estate. When I say building a legacy for my children, for them to have a property to stay at, that's one reason. The other one, for us to obtain wealth, be able to bring in some income every month. That's another.
For sure.
But also, like I've stated, I'm the black nationalist in my house. I have to state, it's brought in joy and all that, but it's a lot of pain and anger that comes with that as well. From the Tulsa Massacre.
Let's touch on the Tulsa Massacre for people that don't know. Okay.
Yes.
Right. So historically in Oklahoma, we had what people considered the Black Wall Street of
the Black Wall, because it hurts because it's so similar to us now.
Right.
Okay. When PG County being, a rich black county.
Right. We're in what we consider, we're in the richest black county in America.
Right.
Richest county in Maryland, if you didn't know.
Right.
All right. So Tulsa had something like this going, and I guess it was the 50s?
1920. No, about 100 years ago. We just hit the 100.
We'll get the dates right. But either way, there was a Black Wall Street of black businesses, doctors, politicians, hospitals, governing, policing themselves, building the black boom, and then, along came a radical group who bombed all the businesses, exploded everything,
leaving those people with generations of pain and rebuilding. My ladies cried off. When discussing these things. The pain and the joy of that. It's just it had to be done. We felt like we doing it for our ancestors. Like I said, when our renters are in a position to buy, we tell them to buy.
Right.
It's better to have a great renter that pays all the time. Man, it's better for them to buy. That's what's inside us. We drive. We are driven by a purpose and the energy and to help our people. And that's even partially why I'm doing this.
Right. It's a mission.
This is our part of the history that the energy that forces people to maybe make a change, break their fear, or even hearing this and saying, you know what? We all come together. If everybody listens and our people buy a property, man, it's for the people,
Because you educating people to own and take back their, part of, their, for lack of better words, their 40 acres and a mule. Mm-hmm. Because for so long, they faced all kind of opposition, whether it was the redlining, whether it was segregation, racism, Jim Crow, values, being misrepresented by homes that were considered black neighborhoods.
It is my
in 2021,
duty.
I want to post this video in case we could do a reaction to this about this family who got an appraisal on their home.
All that,
appraised for I think $900,000. They put in $400,000 worth of renovations, and it came back as what it was. And then they took down all the family pictures, and they took down any remnants that would reflect them being black. And the same house, when they got a secondary appraisal, went for $500,000 more. So it's almost like it cost you $500,000 just for being black. And this happened in 2022. So it's still that covert racism in the system that needs to be eradicated. That's why we fight. But then there's a historical context, which you just spoke on. And you got to be in position first to even get to that point.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys are promoting.
And that's what I'm Anything that people are trying to keep you away from, the higher powers that be, you might want to dibble dabble in because, it's for a reason. And, just wealth in general, 80% is passed on through real estate. And, with the obstacles that have been put in place and everything. And then where we at now, it's like, man, we better buy properties. We better make it happen. We're going to create our own Wall Street. And anybody that hears it builds it as well. And that's what we build the family. We build the community, and then we build the nation. I'm just telling you that's one of the driving powers and energy that has us. That part equal. And that's what I'm saying. I don't put one above the other. Equal with putting our kids in a good place. Right. Equal with putting ourselves in a good place and bringing income. Like here we are. We here to own. We here to make it happen. I hope that also motivates people to want to own and make money and pass on wealth to their children and their children's children.
But there you have it, y'all. This is Q&A with Manju.
It's dark,
Freeman.
but yeah, you got to grow from the darkness. You know?
It's real shit, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I feel like, I could have been, the judgment's up to the audience.
Yeah.
Whether I come talking this where we had 2 properties or whether we had 4.
Yeah.
I felt 8 was a good starting point for people to just listen.
All right. Well, that was a dope Q&A. You know what I'm saying? My boy Manju here in the studio. Today we're talking about building wealth through real estate. A man is giving you a crash course on some of the ups and downs him and his lady went through. Team Freeman, 8 properties in. They really doing it. He came from humble beginnings. He's just like me. He's just like Kay. Drop in a comment. Let me know, what you're doing with your real estate moves. Are you looking to get into real estate investment? Let us know what you want to hear more about. We're going to have all kind of guests on here giving you the game about real estate, some of the moves we're making personally. Everybody that's in this room on this pod right now owns real estate, several properties, and is dealing with the highs and lows that come with it, but we're committed to the game plan. So let us know in the comments, what you're doing about it, what questions you have.